Hey guys, so I'm coming with another video. Today was my first appointment with the maternal fetal medicine doctors in the high risk office. Um, I was very nervous just because if you have ever been pregnant before and have had several losses and you were then turned over to the maternal fetal medicine office, you will know that that first appointment is just very important. Not only does it go over, most of the time they'll give you just a normal ultrasound, but I had to do my NT today, the nuchal translucency sonogram. So I had to do that. And then they'll also do blood work. They'll talk to you about the baby. They'll talk to you about your past history. They talk to you about future things for this pregnancy, and I feel like I'm gonna cry, and I don't know why. So basically, for me, it was a really important appointment because I know that I have kind of a shoddy history with pregnancy, and going through that with hopes that the history that I have and the things that have happened will help keep this baby in. It's just really tough, especially when you don't know if the baby that you're currently pregnant with is going to make it, or if they're going to come up with something like, hey, we found this on the ultrasound today. So you thought your care was going to be this, but it's actually going to be this. So I was just so emotional about the appointment before, during, and after. One of the reasons was because they scheduled me with the wrong doctor. So with my pregnancy that I had last year, I had a doctor that we saw at the maternal fetal office, and I only saw him 2 or 3 times. I saw him once actually in the hospital, and then the office was in the hospital as well, but I saw him a couple of times for appointments, and he just was very knowledgeable, which I feel like they all are, but he was very, the way he approached our P-prom and the way he approached kind of letting me down and telling me that the baby's probably not going to make it, etc., but like the way he did it really spoke to my soul. I don't know why. And so I really wanted to see him again, and I told them when I first scheduled the appointment, I told them when I had to call back to reschedule the appointment. And then today, well, yesterday, I got a text message that said, um, oh, here's your reminder for the appointment. This is your doctor. And it was not him. And I was like, oh my God, I've been telling them all this time which doctor I wanted specifically. So, anyway, so we go into the office today, right? And I'm talking to the lady at the front, and I ask her about this, and she goes, oh, we didn't know you wanted a doctor specifically. And then she's like, well, and then another one was like, oh, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for, the customer service that I mentioned in my last video, but I don't like to be patronized. Don't patronize me. And just the way that she came up and was speaking was kind of making me angry. I'm like, I am having a really, like, this is a rough experience altogether. And I kind of just wanted you to schedule me with the doctor that I requested. And it's okay if you forgot or if you didn't do it because, I don't know, whatever, you're being lazy. But don't be like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Well, if you had mentioned that when we called you to schedule the appointment, well, we would have definitely made sure that we positively 100% exactly would have scheduled you with that doctor. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't have, because I mentioned it like 3 times. I even specifically said I had this doctor during my pregnancy last year, and I would like to see him again. So, whatever nonsense she's spouting to me right now isn't making me feel better. So, on top of the worry and stress that I already was feeling, I had to deal with that. And then, so I was just like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to see a doctor. I've already, been waiting on this appointment. I don't want to wait. And I had to do my NT as well. So they're like, oh, well, we try to keep you guys with the same doctor, but just nonsense. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens because I really want to see him. Then we're doing my NT and I start bawling. Like I don't even know necessarily why. Like, I could think about it, but I don't really know why I started crying as hard as I did. And I have seen the baby several times now. I've seen her heartbeat. I just think that for me, this appointment, measuring all of her limbs and like measuring, you know, her spinal fluid and just doing all this stuff was so huge because it's like we get to see if there's something wrong with her. We'll get to see if maybe she's missing something, or maybe her fluid is too thick, or whatever. I started crying the second I saw that she's just like a perfect little baby, and I just could not even like keep my eyes open. That's how bad I was crying. Anyway, so we got some photos, and I'm gonna show you guys. So this is her foot. Hi, little baby. Hi, foot. And it says further along than what I am because of the issue that we had with ovulating very late. So it's gonna say further along, but it's not correct. And then her arm, if I can get that at the right angle. That's her arm. And then this is her face. She looks so cute. Say hi, little baby. So this is her little face. In her hand, she kept trying to suck her thumb. And the nurse was like bouncing the thing so that she could stop, so we could measure her. And this is her other arm. Hi, little baby. She's so cute. I just love to see the pictures of her profile because it's like she really is so tiny, and like in my belly, and she has like a nose and lips and a chin. Like, look at that chin. That is a good chin. That is a good ass chin. Look at that. I love it. We went through the history, and then he basically talked about getting a cerclage, which you high risk women will know. When my water broke, I did not have an incompetent cervix. My cervix was firmly closed and it was long. Let's say that. My cervix didn't start to shorten or even funnel until I went into labor, and even then, um, I was a few centimeters dilated, and then I had to take the medicine. So I did not have an incompetent cervix, but I have had other losses, and it's just really tough to say what the cause of my PPROM was. I mean, I specifically didn't have an infection, but I told the doctor today that I opted out of getting an autopsy for the baby, just because I wanted, I wanted her to be resting after she passed. I don't want you to cut her up or do any of that nonsense. And so I opted out of that, which means we don't really know if the baby had an infection or if the placenta had an infection, et cetera, et cetera. And so that was one of the other things that was tough, is that we can do the cerclage, which stitches the cervix closed. So it's going to keep the cervix from funneling. It's going to keep it long, and it'll keep the baby from coming out, essentially. So we can get a cerclage, and basically something else could happen that could cause me to pre-prom again that has nothing to do with my cervix. And that, to me, it was something I already knew, but I think hearing it from like a medical professional's point of view, and him saying, unfortunately, since we don't have 100% answers, or since you don't specifically have IC, I could have an infection. It could cause another miscarriage, like without having anything to do with my cervix. And so I was just so, like, I just started crying about that. I've been crying all freaking day. We'll do that the moment just after I'm 14 weeks. So in about 3 weeks, the week after I'm 14 weeks. Just because we want the cervix we want to look at it first, and etc. And then I will, a week after that, see the doctor so that we can follow up and check my cervix length and make sure the stitch was placed correctly, etc. And then after that, I will see the doctors, the MFM doctors, every 2 weeks. They're going to check my cervix. They're just going to make sure everything is going fine. They're going to make sure the baby's growing right. And then while I'm doing that, I am also going to still be seeing my normal OB. So I will still be seeing the same doctor that I love. And so we were talking about this plan, and I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like it could work. And I think that's kind of scary as well because, oh, I don't want to believe, but at the same time, I do. I want to go into this thinking that the cervix or that the cerclage will help, thinking that we'll place it and that I'll just have a perfect pregnancy from then until it's removed at 37 weeks, which is when they do it. Ooh, so I just I just want it to work. And I do believe that it will. I do. It's just hard. It's hard. It's hard. And I always tell people when I talk to them, A, about any of my previous losses, or B, whenever we talk about their losses, because I do get women that message me on Instagram or that message me on Facebook, and you can surely message me here. You can comment if you want it to be more secret. My Instagram is in the description box, and unless you tell me that I can share anything, I will keep that to myself. But whenever women ask me about my situation or ask me about how I'm feeling, I always be 100% correct. Or what? That doesn't make any sense. That's not what I meant. I'm always 100% honest. I am never 100% correct. Let's get that straight. I am always 100% honest. I have a unique perspective, just like any other woman who has ever had a miscarriage or a loss or an infant loss or anything like that. And at the same time, I am also struggling. So I try to help people as much as I can with things that have helped me. I have done a lot of healing. Like, I don't know if maybe you're a new follower or if you have seen any of my other videos, but I have been through a ton of shit in the last, couple of years. My first loss was in 2015. So a lot of it has been stacked right on top of each other. My most recent loss was earlier this year. And I've had so many losses that were so close together, but at the same time, I feel like I've done so much healing and I've done so much work on myself. But that in no way means that I'm holier than thou, or two, that I am healed from any of those losses. I oftentimes still cry about my other losses. And I just want to be honest in that. So when you come and you watch my videos, you can expect me to be excited about my baby and happy about the way things are going. But you can also expect me to be real and honest about my emotions and feelings and the fact that some days I am just bawling my eyes out because I want this baby so bad. Like, this is what you should expect. So I am hoping that by seeing an honest look on my journey and the way things are going for me, and being able to share your journey with me, because I will respond, I tell you this, being able to share your journey with me, I'm hoping that this is a positive experience for us. All right, guys, today I'm pregnant, and today I'm progressing.